It's December 2nd, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today in the Treasury Titans. And guess what? Bitcoin crashed from like 92 and change down to 83 and change. Now it's back up to 87 and change. Volatility is vitality. That's just the way it is. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Let me get that out of the way. But let me tell you something. I don't know if I've ever been more bullish on MSTR, on strategy, on Saylor. Every time I think I could not get more bullish, they do something amazing and I get more bullish. All you haters out there, all of you just absolutely clueless individuals who listen to this and then go in my comment section and put Ponzi scheme, Saylor's going to get liquidated. I don't care what you think. You haven't put in the work. I do not care what you think. I don't care what headlines you read on Twitter from some anonymous post. And then you go in my comment section and think you know something. I really don't care because I've put in thousands and thousands of hours of work. I have over a year of almost daily videos on this company. I've watched, consumed, read everything there is about Michael Saylor, about strategy, so much about Bitcoin. It is incredible the amount of time I've spent. And there's so many people that watch this right now. And now I'm speaking to the other side of the coin. The majority of you amazing viewers and you amazing listeners that have put in the work, that do get it. So thank you for your positive support on the comment section. And by the way, as you can tell by going into my comment section, I have a lot of fun with those haters and just incredibly clueless fudders that are out there spreading the FUD because number one, they don't get it. They haven't put in the work, or they are short and they're actually hoping that this whole Ponzi scheme, that what they is calling a Ponzi scheme is going down because they missed what's so obvious in front of them, that Saylor has built the world's first digital credit vehicle. And if you see this and you don't get this, I'm sorry. It's because you have not put in the work. I can't help you. You have to help yourself. I'm here to just let you know what's going on every day with the amazing mind of Michael Saylor and the amazing mind of Phong Lee and the amazing minds of the strategy team and how they're just building incredible things. Adam Livingston's doing the same thing. Chris Millis is doing the same thing. I mean, these individuals are just giving you the goods. And what you do with it is what you will. It's your choice. And again, I know most of you are amazing viewers who have put in the work, who do get it, and who come just to, hey, what is JLD? What has he found today to update me with? Well, I know a lot of you are very knowledgeable on what happened yesterday. It was unbelievable. Michael Saylor and Phong Lee put on a 22-minute masterclass of the world's first digital credit vehicle. If you haven't watched it, you have to go back and watch it now. It's unbelievable. I'm probably going to play the entire thing in a future episode when it's kind of a quieter day, but today's not that day. Today's not a quiet day. On a quieter day, I'm probably just going to replay that because you need to hear that twice, 4 times, 6 times. I listened to it yesterday on my walk this morning. I just listened to it because they're just speaking the truth, and the truth is so exciting. This is the vehicle. You got Strife, Stream, Stretch, Strike, and Stride all at the beginning. These are the dividends. And what are they doing? These cost $2.2 million a day. Right behind that, you have $1.4 billion of USD. That is 21 months of just cash sitting there to pay these dividends. So nobody can be nervous about Bitcoin going down because the cash is there to pay any of these preferred stock holders, which by the way, I own a lot of Stretch and I own a lot of Stride. So I'm not going to say that I'm glad to see this personally because I don't need them to have cash myself, but I'm in the minority. Most people don't get this. Most people don't get Bitcoin. They need to see the company has the dollars in reserve. So that's fine. Let's just help the sentiment out. Let's build this machine even stronger for the 99% of people who will never do the work. And then, of course, this is powered by the $59 billion of Bitcoin, which covers 74 years of this. And by the way, guess what? As Bitcoin starts to recover and starts to go back up, this number just goes up and up and up at a very exponential level. And now what do you have here? You have MSTR, which has $3.6 billion a day, which is just 6 BPS. That's it. For Bitcoin, it's $50 billion a day. That's just 0.4 BPS. There's Bitcoin derivatives, which is $100 billion a day. That's just 0.2 BPS. And again, these are all engines that they could tap. They could tap if they wanted to go ahead and continue to power this machine because this is the first digital credit vehicle. They are bulletproof. They have proved to the market the credit ratings are going to go up, up, up. The new Basel rules are coming up. It's going to be amazing. I hope you are ready for this ride because if you can tell, this machine right here, it can travel at light speed. It can travel at warp speed. It will travel at warp speed. So you better buckle the F up because we are going places and we're going places quick. And for all you haters out there, keep posting in my comment section. I love having fun with you because you are so clueless. You have not put in the work, and it's okay. I haven't put in the work of 99.9% of other companies in the world, but I'm not going on the YouTube channels of people that talk about that company and trying to pretend like I know what I'm talking about because I don't. But I know what I'm talking about with MSTR. Most of my viewers here, you that are listening, know what's going on with MSTR, and it's an exciting day because what? Strategy acquired 130 Bitcoin for 11.7 million at 89,000 per Bitcoin. They hodl 650,000 Bitcoin. But that's not the exciting story of the day. The exciting story of the day is that Strategy announces a 1.44 billion USD reserve and now hodls 650,000 Bitcoin. And again, this is the 22-minute, almost 23 minutes company update you need to watch from Fong Lee and Michael Saylor. Absolutely incredible. And guess what? The market likes the move, says Chris. In a day that Bitcoin was down 6%, MSTR was only down 3%. It was down a lot during the day. We all know that. We saw it plummeting. But it recovered like a beast. The market, I think, digested the news of what Saylor and Fong Lee and Strategy did, and they rewarded it justly. Now, who knows what the future will hold? I don't know. You don't know what the future is going to hold. But again, long term, it's only one thing for me: higher. Period. Jeff Walton says, in the eyes of S&P, MSTR dividend coverage just went from 0 to 21 months of coverage, a massive bolster to the previously issued credit rating. Will also lay the foundation for individual ratings on each preferred instrument. So all of this is huge, by the way. All of this is huge because, again, the reason why Strategy got a B- rating is because the way that the S&P looked at it, they had 0 months of coverage. They literally had, yes, they had $60 billion of Bitcoin, but they did not consider that coverage. They don't consider that true collateral. That will change in the future, but that's where the world is right now. They don't consider that collateral. So they just put 21 months or $1.44 billion of dirty, ugly fiat that's melting like an ice cube right now, which is why I don't love it. But S&P is going to love it. The market's going to love it. Your average investor is going to love it. And so guess what? Sentiment does matter. Hermes says, timeline of what usually happens after QT ends. As weeks 0 through 4, there's a relief rally. Stocks and crypto rip 10 to 30% quickly. And again, we are right now at 0 because QT just ended. 1 to 3 months, all coins start massively outperforming Bitcoin. 3 to 9 months, broader risk on market. IPOs, meme stocks, DeFi, summer vibes. 9 to 18 months, peak euphoria. Then Fed eventually starts worrying about inflation again and may hike or restart QT. But again, guess what's happening in this time frame? We're getting a new Fed chair, likely Kevin Hassett, who used to be a Coinbase advisor and totally gets the crypto space, incredibly dovish, who's just likely going to do what Scott Bessent and Donald Trump want him to do, which is lower rates. So we'll see if QE actually starts coming up soon. And then when Kevin Hassett comes, which is the likely going to be announced, we'll see. That's what the polymarket percentages are now. Then, wow. Hang on tight is all I got to say. Zinc says, massive day for the Strategy preferreds. Strategy is increasing Stretch's dividend by 0.25 basis points to 10.75, up from 10.5. With the announcement of the USD cash reserve, I'm expecting all prefers to increase in price given they have just been de-risked massively. If the markets are rational, they should anyway, but they could easily sell off because of the dip in Bitcoin price, which is foolish. This is quite a big day, so I'm excited for the future of the company. Congratulations to everyone who took advantage of Strike at such low prices. I've been banging on this opportunity for a few weeks, and he has, especially Stride, and he has. I had already dumped all my money into these prefers. I had all my cash in these prefers already, so I wasn't able to take advantage of it, unfortunately, because I just had no cash on the sidelines. But I'm glad that he was. And now watch what happens as the Fed continues to lower rates over the next 12 months. It's all going to age like fine flippin' wine. And then this is Stretch here going bloop, 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 bloop. They raised it again. And I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end of the episode. But Very bullish. Very, very bullish. You have Ragnar saying, if Bitcoin price increases 1.4% per year, Strategy will be able to pay the dividends forever. If the Bitcoin price increases 10.3% per year, then Strategy makes a profit from the prefs. Strategy calls this Bitcoin escape velocity. I strongly believe that Bitcoin will grow faster than 10.3% a year, which is why I like the Bitcoin Treasury Company playbook. So guess what? It's insane when you watch this. Bitcoin only has to increase 1.4% a year. This is an asset that's been increasing over 50% a year for 15 years. And we only need it to increase 1.4% to be able to pay the dividends forever. And then if it just increases 10.3%, Strategy actually makes a profit. This is crazy. This is insane. This is Bitcoin escape velocity. We are off to the races. Who doesn't get this? The haters don't. The clueless people don't. Chris says, it's hard to overstate how important this is. If you've been following me, you'll know that my only lingering concern with MSTR thesis was the ability to fund dividends in a tail end risk scenario. In one move, Saylor has effectively eliminated this risk by holding 24 months of dividend payments in USD reserves. LFG. You got it, Chris. He's pumped. I'm pumped. And guess what? Hermes says they didn't get the drop they hoped for, but they're buying now anyways. Everyone buys Bitcoin at the price they deserve. And this is a whole thing about how in 2024, this is just last year, by the way. Vanguard said, Bitcoin isn't a store of value. We'll never offer ETFs. This is what this little joker is saying right here in his little purple tie. And Vanguard 2025, Bitcoin trading starts tomorrow. And that is, by the way, today. So Vanguard is officially trading Bitcoin. It was a year from when they said they'll never, never offer Bitcoin ETFs because it's not a store of value. In just 1 year, they flipped on their head. They flipped on their face. They have capitulated. They have bent the knee to Bitcoin. They have bent the knee to Michael Saylor. Bring it on. Zink says, Saylor and Strategy have crushed it with this one. They have enough capital for 2 years worth of dividends. I'm completely behind this move, and I believe it makes the company completely bulletproof. Strategy is going to be valued at more than $1 trillion by 2030. That'd be nice. That'd be like a 12x. Bullish. Let's go. Bullish. Breaking. Strategy establishes a 24-month cash reserve of pref dividend payments. That's what the green dot was about. Now, I don't want to, give myself credit, but this was my number one expectation from yesterday's video, and a lot of you in the comment section who watched the video after the announcement gave me some love for that. So thank you for that. But again, that's what happens when you put in thousands and thousands of hours of work studying a company, studying Michael Saylor, studying strategy, studying Fong Lee, studying Bitcoin. You understand what's likely to happen. Of course, Michael Saylor will still be pulling rabbits out of the hat that will completely blindside me, and I can't wait for those things. But it was cool to see that I have a good pulse on what the company's going to do when it comes to a situation like they just post, what's a green dot? Well, I'm like, it would really make a lot of sense if they just built up a cash reserve for all the reasons we've already talked about, just so the S&P can get off their back and this stupid B- rating because they have 0 months of coverage. Well, now they have 21 months of coverage, soon to be 24 months of coverage, and they're going to keep it at 24 months likely for the foreseeable future. And then once Bitcoin turns and starts ripping up, it's going to just get crazy. And I am here for that. Chris says, Strategy is a Bitcoin refinery that converts raw Bitcoin into securitized financial products deliberately engineered to appeal to different pools of investors based on that volatility, risk, and return goals. I mean, if you study this chart, you just get it. You input Bitcoin, raw Bitcoin right here, and then boom, high vol to low vol, common STR, strike, stride, strife, and stretch. And then the volatility profile from highest to lowest, the risk profile from highest to lowest, the return profile, no yield, max upside, all the way down to high yield, no upside. This sums it up. And then, of course, Stream comes in here because now you're hitting the European markets. Just exciting times. And is this bullish or bearish as a Bitcoin therapist? I'm too afraid to ask. Jim Cramer says, why do people think that Michael Saylor is going to tell you what he's going to do with strategy? This guy has 9 lives because he's a master poker player and we are all knaves. I think he could engineer a squeeze of a lifetime by going the opposite of what he says. Whatever Jim Cramer thinks, I mean, usually the opposite happens, but it's at least good to see that Jim respects Michael Saylor's financial engineering genius, because he'd have to be a complete idiot to not. So at least he's not a complete idiot. Michael Saylor says another rate hike last night. Stretch is now 10.75%. So guess what? For all of us that are holding Stretch, we just got a raise. We just got more money. Let's go. 10.75%. Are you kidding me? We can put our money into Stretch and make 10.75% per month. Are you insane? Like, that's amazing. I ran a poll. When was this poll? back on November 25th, so about a week ago. And I said, what is Michael Saylor going to do with Stretch's yield income at the end of the month? And I actually posted in the first comment, which was on the same day. I put, I expect an increase of 0.25%. I want an increase of 0.5. I thought 0.5 would have just been like, nice to get to a clean round number of 11%. I really like that move because I think it would have made headlines. I think a lot of people would have talked about it. And because Stretch is still, trading quite below 100, it's like at 96, 97 right now. I think it would have just pumped it up to 100. So Saylor could have just ratcheted back on that ATM. But, I expected 0.25. I think, he's conservative. He's being conservative here. He's probably making the right move. So I voted for 0.25. 50% of you voted for 0.25. Only 11% voted for 0.5. 3% did vote for a decrease, which is crazy. You obviously don't get it. You do not get the game. And then people that said keep the same, again, you just don't get the game because like raising 0.25%, like that's the obvious no-brainer move because all we should be caring about is getting Stretch to 100 and keeping it there so that he can ATM $100 million plus a week off of Stretch and do what? Buy Bitcoin with it. So I'm super happy he made the raise. I wish it would have been for the 0.5, but hopefully we'll get at the end of the month a late Christmas present. He'll bump it another 0.25% to 11%. I think we need to get to 11%. To me, that's just a really round number that will just get people very excited. So we got to get there. I think we're going to get there. Nothing in this video, again, is financial advice. I do have a little Michael Saylor video clip. You're going to want to sit back, kick back, and enjoy. And until then, just living la vida loca. Michael Saylor just made an $835 million bet buying the Bitcoin dip. Right now, Bitcoin's fallen almost 40% off its October high, and the big money is buying the dip. What's your strategy? Now might be a great time to convert your IRA or 401k to Bitcoin with the help of Bit IRA. Plus, you can fund it with pre-tax funds, then continue to invest it over time as you do any other retirement accounts. Bit IRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the U.S. government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Bitcoin has proven time and time again to rebound, every cycle going from a higher low to a higher high. With Strategy's latest purchase, Michael Saylor clearly believes Bitcoin is at a discount. Time for you to get in too. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. When you're ready to build your complete business identity, you want to do it fast and right. With Northwest Registered Agent, you can build your business identity in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. When you want more, start your business with Northwest. Everything you need to launch and protect your business all in one place. Your business identity isn't just your logo or website, it's everything that represents you. From what customers see to what they don't, legal filings, state licenses, secure domains, and compliance tools. Northwest gives you more privacy, more tools, and more guidance so you can focus on growing your dream. For nearly 30 years, Northwest has helped entrepreneurs like us build confidently. You can form your business for just $39 plus state fees, backed by real corporate guides, people who know your state's laws and have your back every step of the way. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paidJLD and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paidJLD.
Public companies have embraced this asset. If it's going to be digital capital, someone's got to be able to capitalize on it. There was one company that capitalized on it in the summer of 2020, and then there was two, and then there was three, and we thought that was kind of cool. And then there were 20 and 30. There were maybe 30 at the beginning, the middle of 24, 60 toward the end of the year, and we've gone from 60 to more than 200 in the year 2025. 200 publicly listed companies, up from 60 in 12 months, is quite a bit of progress in a single year. So this is an extraordinary dynamic. And of course, the marketplace itself, right? What we see is 700 million crypto believers. The crypto industry tipped the election last year. It's becoming the most powerful, if not the most powerful, political movement in the country. And it's global phenomena. And if you're going to be global digital capital, then you probably want to rest on liquidity. So you're staring at $60 billion a day of liquidity. But on Friday, I think we had $100 billion trading. So it's an emergent, powerful asset. It's electrically powerful. It's computationally powerful. It's economically powerful. And it's politically powerful. And it's never been more powerful. So that observation, Bitcoin is digital capital, is key. We are capitalists. The capital assets of the 20th century, equity capital, real estate capital, credit-based capital. Most of the world thinks private equity, public equity, and real estate is primary capital. The emergence of digital capital is pretty profound because it represents an alternative to people who don't perhaps want to store all their wealth in real estate. As I've said before, there's really no real estate in Africa you probably want to put your family savings into for the next 100 years. There are lots of parts of the world where people just don't want to store their economic energy for long periods of time. So the emergence of digital capital is a global phenomenon. It's also a political phenomenon. It's also a technical phenomena. And of course, if you pair the emergence of digital capital with the emergence of digital intelligence, you can imagine that in a world with a billion AIs talking to a billion AIs a billion times a minute, they're not going to have a lot of patience for 20th century ways of doing things. They're not going to buy sports teams. They're not going to buy fiat sovereign debt capital. They're not going to store their money in cash. They're not going to trade gold. They're not going to want to store their capital in buildings or cross-trade commercial real estate. They're certainly not going to be comfortable with securities and all of the human and legal and political restrictions that come with them. So the emergence of digital capital at the same time as we have an emergence of digital intelligence is, maybe it's a coincidence, but maybe it isn't a coincidence. Maybe it's an inevitability.
What's the second best? There is no second best.